has already crossed the time, and I'll welcome all of you again for this wonderful and amazing training where you are going to learn how to handle at least two emergency situation you are going to learn today. And these two emergency situation would be stroke, how to handle the patient suffering from stroke, and how to handle if the person is unconscious. So you are going to be master in this technique after this session. So you will be equipped with all the skills and knowledge to handle these two emergencies, and you'll be able to help your family, your friends, and your loved ones, your neighbor, maybe your colleagues, at your workplaces, or maybe in your homes, or anywhere in between. It helps a lot. So you will be becoming a lifesaver. You will be becoming a first responder after this training. First responder is a person who responds immediately to an emergency situation. So you will be called first responder. So welcome to the training, and I'll share the screen with you so that you will see the PPT. Okay, so let's share the screen. See, friends, everyone knows that emergency can take place anytime, any place, anywhere. You don't know that it's going to, it doesn't come with warning. You don't know it's going to happen. You don't have any control over this, but you have control. You have control over your actions. Let's share the screen first. So how you're going to control your action? Your action will be controlled only if you have the knowledge, only if you are equipped with the skills. You should know how to handle those emergencies. Everybody wants to help, whether they know something or whether they do not know something, but they want to help. But wrong kind of first aid or wrong kind of help might endanger the life of the person, the life of the victim. So right kind of medical help is very important. That is what it is all about, first aid. So which we are going to talk about today. So screen, can you see the screen? If all of you can see the screen, kindly type yes so that I know and I will continue to the session. Yes. So this is a free webinar, and this is about, as I said earlier, unconsciousness and stroke. Okay. Let me introduce myself. The contents of the program will be, let me introduce the contents first. So we'll be talking about first aid, and we'll be talking about the introduction part where we'll try to understand what is first aid and what its purpose. Then we'll go into the two topics. Okay. Let me introduce myself first to all of you so that you know me and my organization in a better way. I am Dr. Geeta Fernandez, and I have been practicing for more than 21 years in Goregaon West in Mumbai, and I do general medicine. And I have seen personally many emergencies in my clinic, in my general practice, and I've used these techniques of first aid, and believe me, these are wonderful, these are miraculous. They give, miraculous results. So I have experienced personally in my life all those things. And I'm certified, instructor by American Heart Association. So I have done BLS instructor course, that is basic life support, which is, the American Heart Association has certified me so that I can train people in emergency care, or I can train people in the field of emergency care, so that people know everything about this. Somebody is asking, please conduct the training in Hindi. I am so sorry, Amal. Okay, today's training is supposed to be in English. I would love to, do Hindi training, so we can keep it later, because many people from South have joined, today's training, so they don't understand Hindi. So let's go about English. When I keep Hindi, I'll inform you, and then you can join that. Okay, I'm sorry, Amal, for this. Okay, so I was talking about emergency care. So I'm certified globally to train people in first aid, CPR, and handling the emergency. I am a founder and director of my organization. My organization name is Precious Life MediHealth. So we conduct first aid and CPR training for the employees of corporates, industries, factories, schools, and educational institutions. First, this fire and safety training institutions and individual as well. So we are doing all this training, and our organization is certified by British Safety Council, and it's an international organization. They are very renowned name in safety and health. And our organization is trained for more than we have trained for more than 4,100 participants, and we have more than 40 clients across Mumbai and Pune. So I feel proud of it. Many renowned names are here. You can see Amazon. We have done lots of trainings. Mars Wrigley is a chocolate company which is in Pune. We have done lots of institutes like Flame and Saint Xavier Technical Institute we have done, and lots of more and more hospitality industries, O Pedro and Bombay Canteen we have done. So lots of loved clients are there, precious and renowned clients are there. We are socially also active. We have our YouTube channel by Precious Life MediHealth. If you search by my name also, you can get the access to it. Please subscribe my channel if you like my session. And I'm active on social media as on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. So in LinkedIn, you can connect to me on the social platforms. You can always connect to me. Okay. So let's begin with begin the session with one simple question. So if you are the only one near the emergency situation, you might be the only one person to give first aid. So I would ask, are you prepared? So if many people here, they are not from first aid background, they are not from safety background, they are lay people. So they would say, I'm not prepared. That's why I've come to attend your session. So that's a genuine answer. That's why you have to be prepared. In these times of COVID-19 emergencies, you have to be prepared to take action in such situations. Now let us start and try to understand what is first aid. How do you define? Let me define first aid for you. Okay, so first aid is a basic medical care which you give to a person who is injured or who is sick until the medical help arrives. Okay, let me repeat that for you. Okay, first aid is a basic medical care given to an injured or sick person until ambulance arrives. So it's a first response from your side. It's a basic medical care from your side. But let me tell you, you are not a replacement for a doctor. So first aid is not a replacement for a doctor. Okay, so it's a first-hand help. So that will help the patient also. It will save life, and that will help the doctors also. For faster recovery. And why this is important to learn? Why you need to learn? You need to know. You will ask this question. Okay, so the answer is. Very important things you achieve by learning these techniques. The first and foremost important thing is you preserving life. You are saving life of a person who is dying, who is almost dead. Sometimes the breathing is not there, pulse is not there, heart has stopped functioning, which is called cardiac arrest. In that, if you give CPR or compression, you'll save life. Can you imagine that? Many people do not know this. So we train all these things, and if you learn these things, small things, you preserve life. In choking also, if choking happens within seconds, you have to help the person, and you save life in those cases also. You prevent worsening of the condition. The person's condition might deteriorate if they are not got the help from a person nearby or the bystanders. So I'll give you example, like in fracture, like in head injury, neck injury, spine injury, So there are simple things to follow. If you follow all those simple things, you prevent the worsening of the condition. You stabilize the person before you take the person to the hospital, or before the hospital or any further medical help takes over. Do you understand that? And by doing all these things, you promote in recovery of the person. So that is really good and amazing thing. If you feel that first aid is amazing, you type amazing in the chat. So I know that it's interesting and you are looking forward to learn more things in this. Type amazing if you like this. Yes, friends, can you hear me? Yes. Very nice.
Yes.
Okay. Just a second. Okay. Now, any kind of emergency situation, some fundamental principles are there which you have to follow. So these are very important. Any kind, whether it is it be accident or medical illness, diabetes emergency or heart attack, any emergency. So these are the factors which you should know that you should follow. Okay, we'll talk about this now. Now, the first they are saying that you should stay calm, the most important thing, because everyone becomes, I also panic if something happens in front of me, but I'll take hold of my emotions. So become calm, get hold of your emotions. If you are calm, your calm mind will think logically. If you're emotional mind will take wrong decisions. Okay, calm mind will take right decisions. So that is important. So becoming calm and keeping yourself calm, taking hold of the situation, then you'll think correctly. So this is most important thing. Now, scene safety. This is also, see, each and every point is important, right? So scene safety, what do you understand by scene safety? The scene where the accident or any emergency has occurred, that should be safe for you. That's all. That is all is scene safety. There should not be any danger for you, later for victim. Okay, you should safeguard yourself. When you are safe, then only you can help, provide your help to the person. We don't want two victims over there, right? You are a savior over there. You are a first responder over there. So you have to check the scene should be safe. I'll give you an example. See, if accident is occurred and then ongoing vehicles are coming, you cannot go ahead and run to the road and middle of the road. You will, risk your life. So you have to see that, and you take care of the ongoing vehicles with the help of bystanders. The same way, if fire is there, you cannot jump in. The same way, poison, the chemical spills are there, or electric, shock is there and wire is touching to the victim. You cannot touch the victim. So you'll have to take care of all the dangers which is, maybe will be harmful for your life. Okay, so that is all about scene safety. Now, next is calling the ambulance. So you should know, now everyone knows because of this COVID-19 situation, that ambulance number you should call, that is 108. 108 is the government ambulance number. Okay, so if this is the ambulance which should come, which it's sad that's not coming nowadays in time. That's why this training is really necessary to learn. Now, the other ambulances number which are near to your hospital, hospital's number, you should be keeping this with you. It should be accessible with each and every member of the family. If you're working at your workplace, it should be accessible, it should be visible. The hospital is, two types of hospitals. The nursing homes for minor, emergencies. But you should have the number of the tertiary hospitals also, the multi-speciality hospital. So that also required if major emergency happens. Now, getting the first aid kit. What is first aid kit? First aid kit should be available in your home or at your workplaces, and the contents of the first aid is very important. It's not all about, applying ointment or, Dettol, using Dettol and cotton and like that. That is not first aid we are talking about. We are talking about the first aid kit which have the emergency, equipment, the life-saving equipment. So when you learn this training, step by step, you learn what has to be kept in the emergency first aid kit. Now using the PPE. PPE also has become very familiar word nowadays. So PPE is personal protective equipment. So the personal protective equipment protects yourself. Remember the scene safety? So it is the safety about your own self. So in first aid we are mostly talking about the personal protective equipment is about gloves. When you encounter the bleeding or accidents, so from the blood you should not get infection. Now because of COVID you should take care of the the mask and the PPE if you are really close to the victim and if you suspect that the person might be COVID positive. So all those protective equipment should be there, then you can approach the victim to help. And then last is stay with the victim. So that is also important. Whenever the later the emergency help has arrived, that time you can leave the person. You should not leave the person until and unless further medical help arrives. Okay, so you have understood till this topic has been understood by you. Please type understood so that I go ahead and start the unconsciousness. Okay, because this is basic and you should understand all these things. So if you have understood, type understood. Excellent. Right. If you're not understanding anything, in between the session, you can park your question. We are going to keep Q&A answer, session at the end of the webinar. Okay. So let's start with the first emergency condition, which is called unconsciousness and breathing. The person is unconsciousness. The person is suffering from, unconscious. He is unconscious, but he is breathing. हिंदी में सरल हिंदी में कहते हैं वो बेहोश हो गया. ठीक है, तो बंदा बेहोश है, विक्टिम बेहोश है, तो उसको क्या हेल्प प्रोवाइड करना चाहिए? दिस वी आर गोइंग टू learn today, because when he is not breathing and unconsciousness, that is altogether different first aid. So we are not going to talk about that. So condition is unconsciousness and breathing. Okay. Now, in any case, in any emergency situation, there are two things you need to know. Okay, the first thing will be the recognition part. You should know how to recognize or how to diagnose that the person is suffering from a particular type of condition. So that is important. Now the second part is first aid part. So you should know what techniques or what help you would be providing. Don't worry about the history, what was the history, what was the cause, and don't worry about what will be the further treatment or surgery will be required in the hospital. So you as a first aider, you as a first responder only should take care of two things. First is recognition part and the second is first aid part. Okay, so let's talk about recognition part of unconsciousness. How would you recognize a person who is unconscious? वो बेहोश हो गया है, उसको आप कैसे पहचानोगे? ठीक है? So there are step to step, you have to take steps to examine the person. So you will conclude that the person has become unconscious and I have to give him help. So these are the steps. We'll talk about this. To remember this is the best acronym you have to remember. Okay. So if you learn doctors A, B, then you will know, you'll be master in recognizing unconsciousness. Okay. So we'll go in detail of that. Remember the letters. I would be asking every time for the next step, which is the next letter. Okay. So you type that next letter. So first letter is D and that is for danger. So we'll talk about danger now. What do you understand by danger? We talked about scene safety earlier. You remember? Okay. So this is all about scene safety. So danger is you have to look for danger. There should not be danger on the scene. If you are safe, then you will approach the victim. So that is all about danger. The next step would be, remember the acronym? Doctors A, B. What will be the next letter? Type in the chat. Come on, friends, you have to be interactive in the session. What? Yes. So the next letter is R. So what do you understand by R? R stands for response, the responsiveness from the victim. So when you are asking him, when you are touching him, he should, if he is responsive to your commands, then he is not unconscious. Okay, so you have to check that. See, from a distance you cannot make out. This is important. Why this is important? From a distance you cannot, if the person is doing shavasana in the park, you cannot give, straight away go and jump on his chest, give CPR. You cannot do that. Okay, so there are steps to be followed. So these are the steps. You have to check if the person is responsive or is not responding to your call. So how to do that? You have to tap on, kneel down near him, and then you have to tap on his shoulder and ask him if he's okay. Like, are you okay? Are you okay? So in this way you can ask him. If he responds, if he opens his eye, if he moves his body, it means he's okay, right? But if he's not responding to your commands, then you conclude that the person is unresponsive or behosh hai, right? The next step is, what is the next letter, guys? Come on. In doctor's ABC acronym, what is the next? Fantastic. So next step is shout. So once you have realized that the person is unresponsive, you have to shout for help. So if you're alone, you have to shout louder, help, help, and then somebody should come to your help. And or if nobody is there, you can call the ambulance, or if you're at workplace, you shout at the other department so the people come running to your help. Okay, so that is shout for help. Now what is the next letter? Tell me, guys, come on. What is the next letter in doctor's ABC? Airway. Fantastic, amazing. Thank you for interacting, friends. Thank you so much. Okay, now try to understand what is airway. Airway is a pathway which is from the nose to your lungs, from where you take oxygen, you inhale, and the oxygen, this you breathe life. Okay, so the airway is very important type of your examination. You have to check the airway. From the airway, the breathing will come out and the person will be able to breathe, and you will have to check the breathing. You should know that, see, people do not know this. Crasto sir was, he was saying that he being doctor also didn't know. And I know that I didn't know before first aid these things. So this is simple things. I'll try to explain this. The person becomes unconscious, he lays down. Tongue is a soft tissue, right? It goes back and it blocks your air. So after some time, see, if the person initially is breathing, then also after some time, the person's airway will get blocked by the tongue and the person will stop breathing and he might lose his life. So that is why this technique is important, which is called head tilt chin lift method. With the head tilt chin lift method, you have to open the air. Okay, so you will have to use your 4 fingers of one hand, keep it on the head of the victim, then 3 fingers below the chin on the bony part, and tilt the head downwards and lift the chin up. This you can see in the second picture. Okay, so this is how it is done. Let me explain this you in a better way by a diagram. See, here in the first diagram, the airway is blocked. Okay, you can see that. And in the second, when this head tilt chin lift is done, then the airway is open. Okay, tongue goes back to its original position and the blockage is not there. So the person can breathe. Do you understand this? This is really, it's really basic thing. You should understand this, why this is important. If you understand this, type yes in the chat. Let me know that all of you understood. Type yes in the chat. Very good, very good. Sagar, very good. Soni, Prajesh, everyone have understood, right? Shubhada, thank you so much for interacting. Okay, now let's go to what is the next letter for the step? Doctor's ABC, breathing, fantastic. Okay, now we have to check for breathing. For breathing, when you have opened the airway, you have to check for the breathing. Now there are 3 steps to be followed to check the breathing. That is, look, listen and feel for the breathing. You have to bend down near the cheek of the person and look at the chest rise listen to the sound of the breathing and feel for the breath on your cheek. This is in normal condition. When we used to train people. This is the normal guidelines which were followed before. But now, if you suspect COVID-19 situation, you cannot do this. You have to just have to look for the chest rise, the chest movement. Do not bend over the mouth of the person. So now latest guidelines have come from US, from AHA, from UK guidelines that these two steps should not be followed. Only the first step should be followed if you suspect COVID-19 situation. Okay, so now this doctor's AB, which is a step-to-step examination to diagnose, to recognize the condition is over. Okay, so now I'll go to the second part, which is the first step. What is the first step which you should give in this condition, when the person is unconscious? Okay, so the first aid which you will provide to a person who is unconscious is called putting him in recovery position. Okay, so what is recovery position? I'll try to explain you. Then we can see one video also of this. So you are now kneeling down near the person. These are the steps you have to follow. And you are kneeling down at the person, the hand of the victim which is near to you, you keep that hand at the right angle. The palm of the victim should be facing upwards, okay, as it is shown in the picture. Okay, then the second step would be just give me a minute. Okay, the second step, the hand which is farther from you, which is away from you, you pull that hand and bring closer to your side of the cheek of the person, and that the back of the hand should touch the cheek of the victim this way, and you should hold the person's hand. If you leave the person's hand, the hand will go back because he's unconscious. Okay, so hold the hand this way with the back of the palm touching the cheek of the victim, okay, this way. And then the third step would be the leg which is farther from you, the opposite side where you are sitting. You get hold of that leg just above the knee and bend the leg. And after bending the leg, you pull that person towards you. Okay, once you pull that person, that leg should be kept at right angle. This way. Okay, so this is the recovery position which should be followed. This is the first aid which should be given to a person who is unconscious. Let me repeat this for you so that you understand. Okay, this is really important. See, practically in classroom training, hands-on training with people, it's really easy to explain them also, and for you also it is easy to understand. But online it is little difficult, but I feel that you have understood. Let me repeat this for you. The first step is kneel down at the person, and then the second step would be, okay, first step is kneel down near the person. Then the hand which is near to you, keep it at right angle, facing the palm upwards, and then take the other hand which is farther from you, pull that hand towards you and touch that hand with the back of the palm touching the cheek of the person. Then you go to the leg which is farther from you, opposite side from you, pull that leg just above the knee and then bend it and pull it towards you. Okay, and keep that person in the recovery position. The leg also should be at right angle, and the person's mouth should be bent little downwards and little upward to maintain that air, to open the airway, to keep the open there, because if it is like this, again the tongue will roll down. Okay, so opening the airway is also important in this as well. So the head should be little tilted backwards and little downward. Now, why this is important? Let's see one video for this so that you totally understand, why this is, how it is done, and then I'll explain you why it is done.
Check for danger before approaching a casualty. Find out if they are conscious by gently shaking their shoulders and speaking to them. If they don't respond, check whether they're breathing normally. Open their airway by putting one hand on their forehead and gently tilting their head back. Lift the chin by placing 2 fingers on the point, taking care not to put any pressure on their neck, which could block their airway. Look for movement of their chest, feel for breath on your cheek, and listen for sounds of breathing for 10 seconds. If they are breathing, put them in the recovery position. First, put the arm closest to you at a right angle. Take their other arm and place the back of their hand against their cheek. Grab their far leg and pull it towards you. The body will roll over easily. Tilt their head back and lift their chin to make sure their airway is open, and check for normal breathing again. Finally, adjust their leg to ensure they are stable. The recovery position helps them to continue breathing as their airway remains open, and they will be stable and won't roll onto their back. Check for danger.
Okay. Mr. Ramal is asking that he wants to understand the third step. So we'll go back to the previous slide. This is the third step, okay? But I have shown the video, but still I'll repeat this. The third step would be the leg which is farther from you, opposite side of you. Bend that leg, get hold of the leg just above the knee and pull the leg towards. Okay, you saw the video. Now you understand, Amal? Yes, everybody now understood this recovery position? Type yes in the chat box. Fantastic. Very good. This is very important. I tried my level best to it's simple to understand. Now we can go to the next topic, which is the stroke. Okay, so I would like to ask one question here. Stroke emergency is related to which organism? For answer, type in the chat. And this is a good thing that we are discussing this. That will help many people. So let's talk about
Check for
stroke.
danger.
Okay, so can you see in the image the stroke is related to brain? Okay, so there are, earlier I told you that you need not know the cause, but now I want to tell you and share, because you should know a little bit about stroke. That's why I'm sharing with you cause of the stroke. Because many people in the chat also I saw that they do not know that the stroke is related to the brain. Okay, now there are 2 reasons for stroke. For stroke happens, you must have heard in the cases of heart attack, that is very common. So when block occurs, the angiography is done and the vessels supplying to the heart gets blockage, and then angioplasty is done or bypass is done. So everybody knows this. In the same way, the vessel supplying to the brain gets blocked. Okay, so the blood supplying to a particular part of the brain, you can see here, it stops getting blood supply and it dies after some time. So that is why the stroke occurs. That is one reason. In the second reason, the blood vessels inside the brain, it breaks open. So the bleeding occurs. The hemorrhage is a common word which is used. So first is block, second is hemorrhage. Don't go into the technical word like ischemic and hemorrhagic. Very commonly people say that usko hemorrhage ho gaya, isliye wo paralysis ho gaya, uska blood pressure bahut zyada badh gaya. No, these are the normal languages people are using. So these are the 2 things you should remember. Block की वजह से होता है या ब्लीडिंग की वजह से होता है. तो ब्लीडिंग could be because of head injury or many accidents, or maybe because of high blood pressure. So because of high blood pressure, hemorrhage occurs and then this stroke occurs. Now in this stroke, it is really important to recognize the stroke. This is really important. If you recognize, you are the master in handling stroke. Okay. Now in the earlier I talked about doctors AB acronym. Now there is one more acronym for this, which is FAST. So you should remember FAST, F-A-S-T. This is really important because you can relate also. A metaphor I'm giving, that you should recognize stroke fast, and the acronym is FAST. Okay, so let's try to understand this. The first three letters will explain the recognition part of the stroke, and the last letter, which is time, that will stand for your first aid, your help, your immediate action. Okay, so let us go into detail of this. So now FAST, first letter F stands for facial droop. You have to examine the face of the person. Okay, for that you will ask the person. If you suspect that the person is suffering from stroke, you ask this first question. You ask the person to smile. If the person is normal, the person will smile normally, as it is shown in the second figure. Okay, the first figure showing the person is suffering from stroke. If the person is suffering from stroke and you tell him to smile, the facial droop will be there. One side of the face, either side, okay, one side of the face will be drooping down. So this is first. If this comes positive, you go to the next step. The next step is, remember the acronym FAST, F-A. A stands for arm drift. So now tell the person to lift both the arms, keeping their elbow straight. Okay, and then you tell them to lift the arm at the same level. So this is first figure, shows that the person is normal. Okay, if the person is suffering from stroke, the person would be easily, will be able to lift his one arm, but the other arm will be drifted down because the other arm is paralyzed, kind of paralysis, or no nerves actions are not there. So he won't be able to lift the other arm at the same level. So this shows the arm drift test is positive. Okay, so we'll go, these two tests has come positive. Now we'll go to the third test, which is abnormal speech. Okay, S, F-A-S. So S stands for speech. So you tell the person to repeat a simple sentence after you. Okay, I'll give you an example. The girl is going to the market. You can tell the person to repeat that sentence. So if you tell me to repeat the sentence, I'll repeat it normally. If I'm normal, the girl is going to the market, I would say. But if the person is suffering from stroke, then his speech will not be clear. It will be slurred. So if I am suffering from stroke and I am repeating the sentence, I would say, so it's not clear. Okay, so that shows that the person has got stroke. If all three steps, like face and this arm test and this abnormal speech, becomes positive, 75% of the cases the person is suffering from stroke. The research has shown this. So these simple techniques, you can diagnose, you can recognize, you will come to know that the person is suffering from stroke. And then you will have to go for the next step, which is really very important to take, and that is the time to take action. Immediate action. In this case, you have to take immediately. Immediate action. You have to immediately call the ambulance. For which ambulance you will call? For the tertiary hospital. Okay, you cannot go in the nursing home. They will take you. They will take the person, admit the person, waste your time, waste your money, and the person will be paralyzed for whole life if the time is wasted. In the same way, if the time is saved by you recognize, then you call the hospital, tell them that you are suspecting the person suffering from stroke, and that hospital should be a tertiary hospital, multi-speciality hospital, which has the CT scan facility, MRI facility in-house. Okay, so that would not waste time, because there are time limitations. before 25 minutes you have to reach hospital, then 45 minutes before that you have to go for CT scan and MRI. Before 3 hours or 4 hours is a window period where the doctor has to take decision on giving what treatment they want to give. So it's really important. The time factor constitutes of two things. The first thing is the time to call, that is immediate call. We just talked about this. The second is the time when you started observing all this symptoms. So that is very important, because whenever you go to the hospital to admit the patient, the doctor will ask you, when did this symptom started to show, when does it start? So you have to note down that time also. So these have two factors. So now we covered fast. Deepa is asking, is it only arm? I did not get your question correctly, Deepa. We'll go to Q&A session, then you can elaborate on your question, and I'll answer that question. I think you want to ask if it is only paralysis of arm, or all these three tests should come positive. Then the test is 75% of the chances is the person is suffering from stroke, but either one or arm is positive, or other face is positive, only one thing is positive, then also you will have to call the hospital. Maybe less percentage are possibilities, that less percentage. There are many kinds of stroke also, so you have to understand. I think I have answered your question, Deepa. Okay. So now we have covered now two topics. Okay, friends. I want to go ahead with a question. You remember this? I had begin with this question, that if you might be the only one taking around to give first aid, so are you prepared? My question was that. So now I will ask, as I have covered only unconscious and stroke, so I would ask, are you prepared to handle the emergency situation of unconsciousness and stroke? What will be your answer? Please type in the chat. Amazing. Soni is ready, Sushil is ready, Adok is ready. Your question have been noted and will be answered. Sorry, that was from my team. Nanda Kumar. So everyone understood. Everyone is ready to take action in these two cases. So I'm really happy that I gave you value, and I want to tell you something else also. Okay, now you have understood the emergency situation of unconsciousness and stroke, but what about other emergency situation? As I told you earlier, any kind of emergency situation, you don't have control over that. Okay, you have control over your actions. So the heart attack occurs, doctors also they fail to recognize, but after doing training, as you have learned about unconsciousness stroke, you'll definitely learn how to recognize heart attack, and you can save that person's life. Similarly, shock, it's a medical condition, life-threatening condition. Bleeding from the nose, lots of mistakes my participants do, after they do this training, they learn this. Fainting or unconsciousness, you have already learned, but unconsciousness without breathing, when the person stops breathing, what has to be done, that is important. I was talking about head injury, spine injury. So you as a lay person, you would not be having all these equipments to make him immobilized. So you should know what simple techniques should be used. Okay, you should learn all these things. This is important. Many more emergencies could occur, as I was discussing. The bleeding, the loss of blood may take person's life. Knocked out tooth, see, it's a little thing. The one tooth, if a child loses a tooth, he will get another one. What about us? If we lose tooth, we will have to spend 20 to 30,000 rupees per tooth. You know that. And if you preserve the tooth, which you will learn during this, first aid training, then you will know, and you can preserve the teeth, and then you can save your money on that. Okay. Someone is saying audio is clear. If my audio is not clear, please If audio is clear, type clear. Okay. Yes, it's clear, it seems. So the problem should be from your side if someone is not. Okay. So everyone can hear me. Right. I'll continue. Now, in case of fractures and choking, then this is very important to take immediate action. Choking, I was saying that you preserve life. So you should know beautiful 2 techniques are there. So these techniques, if you learn, you will save someone's life. You will save someone from dying. This is snake bites picture. Okay, we cover snake bite also. There's someone goes to native place or picnics or the industries. In industries, we do training. They are located in rural, far away areas from the town. So there these kind of emergencies occur, and they should know how to handle this. So I want to talk about my online training about all these emergencies. These are few I have showed you. There are many emergencies which we cover, almost all the emergencies which you can think of. We cover all the emergencies, how to handle them. We have created online program. So I want to introduce that and talk about a little detail for this. So I want to have your permission to go ahead. So if you allow me, I'll go ahead. Please type allow in the chat so that I can go ahead and introduce the program to you. Yes, thank you, Soni. Thank you, Sheikh. Thank you, Manoj, for allowing me to go ahead. Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you, Sushil. I'll go ahead and introduce the program to you. So we have created an advanced first aid online training for to understanding to take care of this. Usually the classroom training is done for 6 hours, which we are doing for industries, corporates, for the employees. We do for individuals as well. But for online, 6 hours is difficult to sit. So we have created a program which is divided into 3 sessions. Okay, and that will be 2 hours each, and that will be conducted on 26th, 28th, and 30th June. That is weekend, Friday, Sunday, and Tuesday. Okay, the time will be 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So in the 3 sessions, all the topics will be covered. So what are the topics which we are going to cover? So I'll tell you. Okay, so the first session we'll go to the introduction part, the purpose which we already covered. Heart attack, very difficult. You should know, you can save life. Fainting, shock, and injury, bleeding, will learn how to stop bleeding immediately. Okay, embedded object, whenever some foreign object goes inside, like seizure or knife, what should you do? Whether you want to remove it or whether you would not remove it. So you should know that. Amputation, chopping off your fingers or any body part from your body, then how do you preserve that? Nowadays, plastic surgeries are available, microsurgeries are available. Now you can save your organ, your part of the body. So all this will be taught in the class. Internal bleeding, oh my God, external you can see the bleeding, but internal bleeding is there. How would you recognize? So we will talk about that. And then nose bleeding. Tell me now, for nose bleeding, whether you would bend forward or you will bend backward. You type your answer in the chat. Now I want to see the answer. In nose bleeding, what would you do? Forward or backward? Sheikh is saying not remove it, like embedded object, not remove it. So he is correct, but we'll explain it why not remove it. Okay. Many people are saying, some are saying forward, some are saying backward, means that they are not aware. So it will be disclosed during the training. So what should be done? Okay, and what is the reason behind that? In the second session, we'll be covering burns, minor and major burns. Major burns could, will be dangerous for the life. So we'll be covering that. Chemical burns in the eye, not only in the industries, the chemical factories, but children at your home, they might spray, the deodorant in their eyes. What should you do? So that is important. Fracture, in fractures, beautifully is explained. A fracture, person is suffering from fracture, you cannot take the person to the hospital without stabilizing him. So how to stabilize him, you will learn that. then head, neck and spine injury. So if you do not take proper care, the person will land up and the damage will be occurred for his spine and his nerves, and the paralysis might occur. So it's very crucial to take proper step. Then seizure, fits, you must have heard, fits is the common language. Drowning is my fantastic and loving topic and close to my heart, because drowning is very common, very in the nowadays complexes they have swimming pool. You take your children to the water kingdom and you have to be careful. So we teach 3-case scenario, we take examples and beautifully explain. You should not follow whatever is shown in the Bollywood movies. Bollywood movies are the worst first aid given in those movies. Do not follow Bollywood movies first aid techniques. Okay, so then in the next session, that is third session, we'll be covering choking, asthma, and then diabetic images. You must have heard the person blood sugar kam ho gaya, then the person can go into coma. Okay, but if you take proper step, you can save that person from going to coma. It's so amazing. And while talking, I get so much of energy. The people can save. In these cases, they can save people. More and more lives could be saved. Snake bite, I was talking about, scorpion bite, insect bite. Okay, so all these 3 sessions, then I'll be talking about the cost. What will be the cost of the session? Generally, when we do outside training, on-site training, or classroom training, as an internationally certified organization, we charge 4,000 to 5,000 per participant. The government certified organization, they are charging less, but then quality of the training is also, the people don't understand. My participants, they share that they did not understand the last time's training. Okay, so we have made it very simple to understand. So it usually costs 4,000 to 5,000. This 6 hours training, whole topic will be covered in this. But for you friends, because I know that you are the person who wants to help others. You are the people who have given your time. Okay, for you people, I have kept it only $699. Okay, for all the 3 sessions. So in 3 days, if you spare your 2 hours of time, you will be learning to handle all these first aid techniques, all these emergencies. And this is all because, I want to spread the awareness. Because of this, as I said, COVID-19 situation, people are suffering. If you learn, you will be able to save the lives. And this is nothing, I could have done it free also. I'm doing it free. Stroke, I explained it, free of charge. But then if you do free of charge, you don't give it value. You don't value it. So a little amount is you can spare for your loved ones, to save your family or friends. So this is exclusive offer for you guys. And if you register today, okay, so there is a bonus training of cardiopulmonary resuscitation, which is CPR, when the person is almost dead. The person is not breathing, the person does not have pulse. That time also you can save a person's life. So it's so amazing. But if you register today, then only CPR training will be given to those people. And a little study, you have to study before the training. That we can talk later on WhatsApp or on call. So if you register today, you will be getting on. If you don't register today also, later you can register. But then bonus training of CPR will not be available. These 3 sessions will be available for only $699. Okay friends, now these are the payment details. You can Paytm or Google Pay on this number 970-2255-958. I'll repeat the number, that is 970-2255-958. Or you can do online transfer on this detail. This detail now will be also available on the group which we have created for this webinar. That is Precious Life Warriors Group. Okay, second batch. So this is available now on the WhatsApp, your WhatsApp group. So if you want to register, you can register now. You can start registering. And I'll request all of you who have registered, who will register, please type register in the chat. and share with me the snap of the paid amount, because I should know the name of the person. Okay, it is important. So take the screenshot and then inform me personally on my WhatsApp number that you have registered, and so I can register you in the next session. Okay, so is it clear about this session, all of you? Thank you, Mr. Namdar. Sumesh, thank you. Inamdar wants to register. Registered? Yes. All the details will be there. Now, what I'll do, we can go to the question answer session. And one more thing I forgot to share about the recovery position. Now I remember that why recovery position is important. Okay, let me stop sharing first so that we can. Let me talk about the purpose of the recovery position, and then you can have, if you have any question, go ahead and ask question about the unconsciousness and stroke. If you have any difficulty about registration or this session, you can ask that also. I was talking about recovery position, why it is important. When you put the person in recovery position, the person will breathe normally because you have taken care of opening his airway by bending his head behind by the technique which I've taught you, head till chin lift. And then by bending the mouth head down, what happens, if the person vomits, that vomitus does not go back in the airway and chokes the airway, and the person is choked by his vomitus or blood, then he will choke and he will die. Okay, so you are saving the person from death. You are saving the person from dying by keeping him in recovery position. Either side will do. If the bleeding is also there, that will also come out and will not go back and block the air. You understand now? So if you have any question, thank you. I appreciate Amal is saying thank you. Sumit is asking if the person is suffering from arrhythmia. Okay. So I would request all of you to stick to the question which is related to the topic which we have covered now. And I have introduced the session, the further 3 sessions. If you have, want to acquire knowledge, you come aboard and register yourself, and we'll get through all the knowledge. You believe me, you won't believe, like you will get all the knowledge. You can handle all the emergencies, whatever you can think of. So in the same way, how you have learned about the unconsciousness and stroke, you will learn about all those topics which I have listed in the session. So about arrhythmia also you can learn. What kind of certificate will be awarded on completion of the course? Inamdar is asking. For the online this training, we do not provide certificate. We provide certificate for a classroom training and on-site training for the corporates or whenever, because there is some rules and guidelines given by government to be followed. So it's not possible to give for online training, and you cannot expect the certified course in 699. Please try to understand that, because we have to go follow the registration, then the GST and company rules, everything is followed. So it becomes very expensive, as I said earlier. So if you want certified course, we are well equipped to give certified course, because under one roof, under our organization, we are collaborated with DESH also, government certification also, American Heart Association also, British Safety we are ourselves having, St. John's we are having, we are in collaboration, so we take training. So certificate will not be an issue if you want on-site. For online, it's not. I'm so sorry. What else? If you want to come on the screen and ask question, that also you can do, or you can chat you can type in the chat box. Will we get the material for the reference? For now, for this training, I will not be able to provide the material, but I am working on it. See, online training I have recently taught and started. So it's a beginning, it's a second batch. So I am planning to prepare a e-book, whatever. So later on, maybe I will provide if I have. So for now, it's not ready. It's in process. What would be the cost of certified course? Yes, Sushil, we can definitely talk about that. You can get in touch with me personally on my number. You can send across, or you can mail me that your requirement, and you can definitely, we can talk about it in detail. Okay. Anyone has any question? Someone is asking, will the person be conscious just after having stroke? Yes, in stroke the person is conscious. Okay, in the stroke the person is following your commands, but if you do it, immediate help is not provided. Ultimately, see, not only in the case of stroke, in any emergency, if you do not provide your immediate help, initially the person is well, okay, the person then the condition deteriorates. Ultimately, if you are not providing help, the person will definitely become unconscious. Then after that, the person will go into shock, okay, and after that the last stage will come where the breathing and the pulse will stop. So there are stages of deterioration. So in stroke, initially the person is conscious. At that time, I have taught you how to recognize. So before he becomes unconscious by deterioration, you will realize before that because of this training. So he might become unconscious. Any emergency, the person is bound to get unconscious. What is the prevention for stroke? See, I told you that this training, the first aid training, as a first responder, you need not know about the cause, about the prevention, because prevention is altogether a different topic. Okay, this is first aid. Remember the definition of first aid, the immediate help which you provide. So in first aid, we just talk about what has to be done to the person, what medical help should be given, and what how you recognize that. So these two parts should be taken care of. Now, that is preventive medicine. That is totally different topic. So that comes under health, okay, and how to prevent the disease. So this does not come under first aid. Now, Rajesh is asking, case of stroke, what is the initial symptoms, post which we can ask about face, arm, and throat. See, these are the symptoms which will provide you a significant indication that he is suffering from stroke. Okay, you can ask the history, if he has fallen down, any kind of head injury, or if the person is suffering from he is a cardiac person and he is on blood thinner. After usually in angioplasty is done or bypass is done, the person take blood thinner medicine. Those people are very prone to go into stroke, or as I said, a head injury. So some causes you should know, but symptoms are, these are the symptoms which I taught you. Just a second, the chat box is going fast. Rajesh is asking that in what instance do we ask? As I told you, you have to, the blood thinner, the people who are on blood thinners, that these are prone. The people who have suffered from head injury, maybe the people who have taken poison, the stroke might occur in those cases. But the stroke, cardiac arrest, heart attack, sometimes it happens suddenly, so you don't have any warning in that. So you just have to look for all these signs. You will see that the person faces little droop down, and he is not responding to your commands properly, so you will suspect that it might be stroke, and you start asking these questions. Okay, Vijay is saying it's clear. Thank you.
Oh, it is going on. I don't know. Are you asking? You can ask.
Yeah, you can ask. Who is this? Someone wants to ask the question.
No, madam. Thank you. Very nice session.
Yeah. If yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Can you share your name, sir? Who is this?
Vijay Parkale.
Okay, Vijay sir.
Retired ACP from Mumbai, SPU.
Okay. You like the session, right?
Yeah, very nice.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Good evening, doctor.
Yes, good evening.
Doctor, my name is Michael. I'm from Goa.
Yes, Michael, tell me.
Doctor, I was just wondering, I was overhearing you saying that these symptoms are very prone for people with heart diseases and things like that,
Yes.
So how do we prevent, in case there's somebody who's with this heart disease, okay, how do they prevent these things? You were talking about taking blood thinners,
Yeah, see what? Yes.
Yes, doctor.
So the heart, as such, each and every heart disease person will not be prone to stroke, but the persons who are taking blood thinners, okay, so that those will be prone to this stroke, because the dose of the blood thinner should be adjusted. See what happens, people take medicine for years once they have advised by the doctor. So every now and then you go for the test, and the doses are changed according to your condition. So whenever the doses which is too much, then the blood become thinner and the blood vessels will break down, okay, and the hemorrhage will occur. And when the blood thinner dose is less, then the blockage will occur. So both ways the reason will be there for these people. Okay, you understand now, Michael?
Yes, I do, doctor.
Yeah.
But
so this is the reason why. So I would advise you, such people should every 3 months do their test, go to their cardiologist and keep the follow-up. If this is done, they will prevent from going into stroke. So that is the best.
Can't hear you, doctor.
Am I audible to all of you? Please type yes, all the others, so that I know that I'm audible to. Michael, I think the problem is from your side, because I am audible to everyone. If you have any other question, Michael, you can.
I got the answer.
Yes,
doctor. I got the answer to my question.
Okay.
That we have to be a little precautious and have our checkups done 3 months at least.
Right. Follow your doctor's advice, because we are not doing that. Those people only who do not follow their doctor's advice or visit regularly, they'll end up in problems.
I see. Okay, doctor. Thank you so much.
Yes, Michael. Sumit is asking about arrhythmia. I will request you, Sumit, you can call me or you can WhatsApp me, because this is not related to the topic which we covered today. Okay. How can I help stroke person? Manoj is asking. Okay, so your help will be as fast as you can take action. That is your help. Okay, the recognition part and taking the person to the hospital is your first step, is your help, because this is the only thing and everything that you can do for the stroke. You are not a doctor, you cannot do CT scan, you cannot do MRI. As a first aider, this is the best thing, everything which you can do to save the person's life. You understand, Manoj, now? So you just have to follow the acronym, remember, FAST. The face test, arm test, and speech test. Okay, so those tests comes positive, you have done your work. Take the person to the hospital immediately. Okay, anyone? I would request Okay, someone is asking if one gets paralysis attack and if there is no such specialist hospital around, then what is the first aid we can give? See, paralysis attack will be after stroke. Okay, and this first aid is about giving your first aid treatment so that the person is stabilized until medical help arrives. So I always see these questions always come to me whenever I take training. You know, sometimes the imagination of participants go beyond the imagination. You know, they ask if head is cut or if this is open or you are in a forest. So let us not assume that. Wherever there is possibility, you are equipped with the knowledge, you give your best. Okay, and if hospital is not available, then there might be a problem because gradually the patient's condition is going to deteriorate. So if window period of 4 hours is gone in stroke, he is going to land up in paralysis. Okay, so you cannot help if the hospital is not available. That is why when buying house, we see that the hospital should be available nearby. You know, we see for schools, we see for station, but we should also see for the hospital. So that is what my answer is. But I always say my participants that you learn everything so that you are equipped with everything, with each and every knowledge, so that you can provide your help whenever it is necessary for your loved ones. Okay. Rajesh is saying that very good session and nicely explained. Thank you, Mr. Rajesh. Thank you so much. And Manoj is asking, is there any physical help possible by us in case of stroke rather than call the ambulance? Physical help would be taking the person to the hospital. No other medicine or apart from this you can do. This is the physical help which you would do to a stroke person as a first aider, as a first responder, by taking the person to the hospital immediately. That is also a tertiary hospital or multi-specialty hospital. Alapini ma'am is there. Hello. Good evening, Alapini.
Yeah,
Hi,
good evening.
this is
Nice to see you. I just happened to join. I'm so sorry. I just joined the call, but I'll get in the flow now. Good to see you.
Good evening and thank you. Actually, we finished. I'm so sorry. We finished with both the topics. Yeah, but then you can always join. We have further sessions. You know, this free session will be there, and I'll inform you about the session. Alapini, to all the participants, I would like to inform that Alapini madam is a HR of a big corporate company, Clinic, and we had done one session with her company, and we are in touch since that time. And she wanted to, last time also she could not attend. She's really a busy person, you know, and now she also missed. Next time, Malapini madam, I'll get in touch with you, send you the details so you can attend that.
Yeah, I think the session at the company was very helpful, and that's why I wanted to attend this so that we can have a webinar back in office.
Of course.
I think my bad luck, but yes, I think next time keep me posted. Then I think I'll take your leave then.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for coming. Bye, ma'am. If anyone among the participants want to share their feedback about this whole concept which we have created and about the topic which I covered, unconscious and stroke, if you want to give your feedback, I really appreciate it. Rajesh is asking, in stroke, is it advisable to keep the victim lying down or in a seating position till the ambulance arrives? Okay, so this is also a good question. What action? This is the action to be taken for the person. So in the stroke condition, the person condition might be related to the head injury. So if it's head injury, then the person should be kept still. So laying them down and telling them not to move is the best idea. But if the ambulance is taking time to come, you take the person immediately, but do not move the person. You keep them still. That is the best advice. So laying them down is the best option, because many diseases you make the person sit. In heart attack, you make the person sit. Laying down is not the correct posture. In asthma also. So it's a good question, Rajesh. So whenever we discuss emergency situation, we discuss about all these things also. What should be the position of the patient. But when you are telling them to, answer your questions, they should be in standing position or sitting position. Then only they will be able to do all the exercises and what the test you are going to do with them. Okay, I think Rajesh, I answered your question. Very nice session. Very selling, well explained. Thank you. Thank you so much. Deven Ture is saying. Manoj Kumar is asking, is there any chances to be unconscious due to stroke? I have already, I think, answered that question. Unconscious, you can become unconscious is a condition of the patient. It might be because of any reason, any emergency condition. Okay, whether it is accident, whether it is medical emergency. So I've already answered that question before, Manoj. Yes. Anyone wants to come forward and share their feedback? Priyanka has given her feedback. It was really helpful and amazing session. At this time, you have come up to help people, and she's saying it's really grateful. Keep it up, ma'am, and thank you. Well, very well done. Thank you, Priyanka. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Bhushan is saying superb session, madam, and Dahak is saying thank you for sharing and taking the time to educate us. Though brief, has covered the topic carefully. Thank you so much. Bhushan is saying thank you. Thank you for your precious feedback. Rajesh is saying thank you. It was helpful. Thank you, Rajesh. Sushil is saying amazing session, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. I should thank you that you came here and provided value to my session. I'm really grateful, and I look forward that you spread this message about us, that we are conducting these kind of training, so that now you are equipped in your family to take the emergency control. Okay, but now your family members, will you also need help in such situations, so you can tell your family members to come forward to join the sessions. And if you want to learn more, register for the coming up sessions. Shubhada, thank you, ma'am. She's saying thank you, Shubhada. I think I've answered all your questions, and I have covered the topic also. Everyone has given their feedback, so now we'll close down. Okay, we close the session, and we want to register for the upcoming 26, 28, 38. Please register by paying $699, and the details are given on the WhatsApp number. And if you have registered, please inform me personally. Okay, and you can join our session, and I'll be coming with this kind of program again. So if your friends, family wants to join, you can always join. In the group, I always put the dates for the further online training. So if you're not having any question and further feedback, I think it's time we'll close down. Manoj, thank you so much. Okay, you can leave the meeting now. Bye-bye and good night. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Bye, Jenny. Very same. Thank you for enlightening.